Hey everyone, welcome to day 29 of my journey to financial freedom through trading. Today was a red day. Um, Pretty unfortunate. Had some okay trades, some poor execution, and I missed a couple opportunities. So the first thing that popped up was, you'll see my trades right here. I'm just gonna do this all through my live recording on YouTube just because it's a bit easier. And then I'll probably pull this in every once in a while. But you can see here, $2.6 red day. I took quite a few more trades than I normally do, which I think is a good thing. Some of them were errors, but I was taking a little more trades. It just seemed like today wasn't really the day to do it, though, unfortunately. So sitting down, 7 a.m. Just about. I might turn on the sound. It's just going to be the audio alerts. So coming into the day, you see WXM popped. IHS. AI. This is going to get annoying. Okay, so AIHS. Let's go. So I first pull it up here, do some checks on it. So we broke through the 200 EMA on the daily chart. It's good. It had news of a partnership positions, digital infrastructure development. So not entirely sure what that news means, but there is news. And it seems to have a favorable, favorable outlook by the market. So a couple things here. First, I got in for this micro pullback, which is fine, I think. We had higher volume. It's a pretty high quality stock. I mean, you can see the relative volume. It's already up 100%. I mean, when I got that alert, it's a good stock. So not mad about that trade at all. I got a horrible fill on the exit though, and the reason was A, I sold too late, and B, okay, A, I sold too late, B, the spread was big, and C, I have a bad habit of kind of watching the chart rather than a level two, especially recently. So I moved the bid and ask over here. So whenever I'm executing a trade, I want to only be looking right here. I'll see the bid and the ask right here. And this is where I want to do all my executing from, because I don't really need the chart to execute. I should be able to just by time and sales level 2. So, plan the entry here. I missed this one. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because I got cooked on the spread, whether I should have gotten back in there for the break over 250 on this kind of micro pullback here. Risking at the bottom of this candle this time because you have clear support there at VWAP 9 EMA, rather than at the very low, because that would be way too high risk, and this would be kind of a breakout or bailout type of trade. I got in for this micro pullback here. As you can see, I'm in there. We get a nice pop. I scale out at 4. Tried to scale out twice, but I only had 2 shares, so it didn't really do anything. So I should have a quarter left right here, which would be kind of my runners. And then once it breaks below, I get out. So execution was fine, but still I should have been watching down here. Yeah, I had a decent entry there though. I will say that was a pretty good entry. Yeah. If I had more shares, I would have scaled out twice. It would have been that would have been a lot better. Um, but whenever I'm trading super small size, and I got in for this break here, thinking we could get another retest. Um, but of course we don't, and I get out and take a decent sized loss there. So I'm not mad about like the trades, just execution was a little bit poor. But that's why I am taking more trades, so that I can practice my execution. Um, so yeah, those were my trades on AIHS, I think. Oh, two. I have one more trade on this one. Yeah, I should have one more trade coming up in just a second. Um, so I'm watching it here. I'm thinking, okay, 1 minute bull flag forming, right? Lighter selling volume, that's great. Where'd my entry be? Break over the candle, 450. So I accidentally pressed there too early. Um, but it worked out nicely. I was like getting ready to press it and I just pressed it a little too early, which is fine. I wanted to get in at some point, but I did get in a bit early. Um, yeah, one thing I am noticing is that I have been I've been letting a lot of my winners turn into losers, which I think is just I think I have to do that. Like I don't think I want to change that per se, but it's just kind of a psychological thing I'm working through. Um, and because I'm trading with such small share size sometimes, like with just 2 shares, I took 2 shares the entire day, which didn't really meet my criteria. So I did kind of break a rule there on position sizing. Um, but with 2 shares, you can't sell half and then sell half again, you know. Um, so like I want to scale out, but I'm only scaling out half, and then sometimes that turns my winners to losers. So something to be aware of. Nothing I want to change per se. Um, but I might per chance increase share size to 4 shares just so I can scale out twice. Because the money is just my tuition, but I want to make sure I'm, trading the right way. Um, if I have a $2 red day every day for, the next couple months until I can get to break even and get to profitable, that's fine. But yeah, so I had no more trades on this one. For now, it's just kind of stalling out. We'll skip forward. You get a false break there, which I got in on, right? We saw that trade. Then you get pulled back down to Whop and 9 EMA. Get another little break here, but still kind of showing weakness. So ultimately it flushes. Then you get that same kind of pattern right here. A couple other stocks pop. This one, far backside, that's a no-go. WXM was kind of the most obvious stock all day, I guess you could say. But it had pretty nasty rejections. So I was very hesitant on it. Like right there, you see that rejection? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, let me just show you kind of how quickly this happens. So, I don't know. It didn't have super high short interest, so I'm a little bit confused on that. I don't think short interest is an amazing metric. I am trying to track it to see if it has any um, importance, but I might remove it from my scanners altogether pretty soon. If I can find that there's, really no reason to have it. But, you get this little consolidation here. Pop up. It's not trading on super high volume right now. In this moment. I mean, it's decent volume, but it just seems kind of slow, kind of thickly traded, I guess. For some reason, this was happening today, where my level 2 was displaying a different ticker than my charts, and I didn't really notice that till a little bit after. But see how quickly this will pop up, and then watch how quickly it flushes. So right there, you get the red candle, get that break, and that's a pretty big flush. So I was super hesitant to trade this stock all day because of that. I'm not sure that was just people panic selling or shorts or mixture. Not positive, but that tended to happen a lot. So we're gonna fast forward a bit. MGIH popped up. I didn't take any trades on it. I didn't really like the price action. I didn't take this micro pullback here, so I waited for 1 minute. It was also kind of choppy in this area, so I wanted to wait for 1 minute, and just waited. It didn't really do anything spectacular. For some reason, my scanner's still on, so let me mute that. Sorry about that. Yeah, so pop and drop, right? Pretty self-explanatory. I'm not sure I have a picture of this, so I'm just gonna take a picture real quick. Boom. Let me actually back it up a bit as well. So get the front side of the move on the 10-second chart. There we go. But yeah, so this one pop and drop. Then we had FRTT pop up right around here. It had news 8 a.m. Whop Technology signs agreement of the acquisition of Logi USA. So it's acquisition news. So STIM, that one had a float that was too high. Wasn't really moving super nice. FRTT, kind of some micro pullbacks on the way, but kind of a grind. Once again, my level 2 is displaying the wrong stock. I'm not really sure how I didn't notice that, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know how I didn't notice that. That's kind of awkward. Yeah, it starts to kind of grind up. I'm looking for, it has blue sky over 4, so I think that is probably what a lot of the appeal to the stock is. If we could break over 4, it could get a really nice squeeze, but right now I'm just watching for the break over 2. Get that break over 2, and I'm going to take a trade on it. Yeah, I missed that big time. Big time. So one of the things I need to be better at is taking the break of these pivots. It's hard to know for me when they are going to break and squeeze up or when they're going to break and flush out, because sometimes you know, you'll get this break and then it'll just flush out because shorts get aggressive here, add to it, you know, sends the stock down. But other times you get this squeeze and, you know, that can be really, really quite nice. So unfortunately, the level 2 is off. Really wish I could be watching it, but you see the time and sales here. You know, you get that squeeze up to 3, rejects off 3, 35. So definitely missed the break of that pivot. That's a mistrade. I should be taking that. It is hard to know which ones to take and which ones not to. That's kind of intuition I'm building up. But if I take them, then I can learn. If I don't take them, I can't really learn from it. So this is a missed opportunity. Now I'm watching for the micro pullback. Watching for the micro pullback here. Get some support there off the 9 EMA. And then I accidentally take a trade there. So that was an accidental trade because I was trying to type in something else. Then I finally noticed this. I try to reset it. Ultimately, I need to unlink it and relink it. Kind of missed this curl opportunity. I'm not sure I would have taken that. I could definitely see an entry, the break over this candle right here, or even this candle break right here. That could have been an entry depending on how I was looking in the moment. Yeah, kind of bottoms out here. Then you get this lower high. That's not a great sign. So I'm kind of thinking that it's going to flush out. But it holds, so I take this trade right here on this candle over candle on the 10-second with the support off of $2, which is VWAP. So entry at 215, really quite a high fill. That's why I need to be watching the time and sales level 2 more, is because my fills watching the chart are not good at all. It's just not the right way to trade. So I try to make that easier by moving the ask over here so I can see the ask. I can see the stacking on the ask, and then I can see what time and sales right there. And then the bid, I can see it from my exits. You know, it might be nice to scrunch this all up right here so I could see, but I don't know. I think it's better to have it wider. It's visually easier to see. So, yeah. No trades on that. It dumps. Or no more trades, I mean. Yeah, kind of watching some other things. This was a penny stock. Let's just try to mess around with this, see if there's any improvement I can make. There's not. It looks great, but as before, you know. FRTT, TDIC, light volume, FRTT, again, just consolidating. GMEX, I do not like this sticker at all. It does this pop and drop all the time. So I made a little X. I do that on some of the tickers. I think I have it on ELAB. I think I have it on AZI. A couple of the tickers that are just very commonly pop and drops. It's not a absolutely do not trade it, but it is a be very cautious to trade this. because it's has a history of pop and drop. So that one, FRTT, QMLS, this one didn't have really enough volume to have a great move. So again, the penny stock, I was looking, maybe I'd take it over 172 for that break over the 200 EMA, because that's kind of what we saw on the SCKT, I believe the ticker was, yesterday, that made that huge short squeeze. So I was thinking maybe WXM starts making a little move up here. I want to see it over that pivot. Right, this was the previous. I have that pivot marked off. Okay, so we're gonna watch the 10 seconds. So it breaks that pivot just for a second, flushes down hard off of it, very hard off of it. Buyers step back in, send it back up, and I should be looking for the break right there. Over 1184, right there. You get that. Should have gotten in there. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Right. Been scaling out up into 14, 13, 14. But yeah, I missed that trade. I've definitely FOMO'd into it here, just hoping for a squeeze back up, and we didn't get it, and I got stopped out, and I sold pretty late. So yep, those were my trades. After this, I didn't take any more trades, but you could see this break of the pivot here, for this kind of pullback pattern. This would be more of a breakout or bailout type of trade. It's not something that I am super confident in yet, but I've seen it happen a few times. You know, today it happened here. Yesterday it happened on Jewel, JEWL. It happened on FRTT earlier. Sorry about the train. FRTT for kind of the break over this pivot over like 180. You could see right there. So definitely something I should study and learn, but not something I'm super confident in yet. So yeah, that was the day. You know, again, about a $2.64 red day. So little unfortunate because I just kind of, struggled with execution. Some things I need to work on are reading the time and sales level 2 down here, watching this more than the charts while I'm like actively ready to take a trade. Charts are great for historical patterns, of course, but if I'm trying to get in here on a micro pullback, say, right, for over about 529, I should really just be watching the ask for 529. You'll figure out what I'm risking off of too. And then right there. Well, this one's different because it has a bigger spread, but yeah, get in there for 530 on the ask. Stop at the low of the pullback. Yeah, a lot of red on the time and sales. Flushes out. I don't know. I don't trade the open, and this isn't a great stock as high float. Volume seems fine, but very dispersed and choppy. So I know, but those are some things I need to work on. Looking right here, that's one thing. Okay. Taking the break of pivots, that's another thing, of really respected pivots like this one on FRTT. Okay, let's look at WXM first because that was a better pivot. WXM. taking the break of these pivots, right? Because you have to think about, you know, shorts are shorting it off of here with a stop at 1172, right? So just like if you were a long bias trader, and I think there's a way to, this is going to be cool if I can figure it out. There should be a way to just flip the, yeah, invert scale. So look at this. Just imagine the, you know, the colors are different, right? But if you're getting a sell-off, let's see, you're getting a sell-off here, you know, this is kind of a more mean reversion, the one land speed style of trade, but, you know, pulls back. If you're getting in for this rally back up, your stop is going to be at the low, which in this case would be 1172, right? Maybe you're taking profit up here, then it comes back down. Oh, you almost get stopped out. But no, you add, you keep buying it back up as buyers step in on that candle wick, you know. And then here, it breaks, and you're like, oh shoot, I don't know how far this could go down. So I'm a cover. And then that's where shorts get squeezed. So, you know, I need to start looking at the breaks a little bit more like that. They're not my strong suit right now. I think that there is definitely opportunity to trade them. The hardest thing I have with the break is just knowing whether it's if it's going to break and go or if it's going to break and flush. You know, there's not really a real way to tell unless you're super experienced reading time and sales level 2. So those are some things I'm going to work on. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed kind of a more ranty video. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Feel free to check out the description for some great resources. And follow along for my journey to financial freedom through trading. I will upload every day on my journey. I'll post the good and the bad. I'll be as transparent as possible. I have a lot of work to do. I'm not a profitable trader, but I do have a pretty good system that I think will lead me in the right direction. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of hours, a lot of review, but I think I'll get there. So thank you guys so much for watching. God bless. I will see you guys tomorrow for day 30. Bye for now.